August 1861. The rolling hills of Missouri bore witness to the first major battle fought west of the Mississippi River, a clash that echoed through history. Amid the smoke and thunder of battle, unexpected alliances formed, acts of humanity shone through the chaos, and ordinary lives were forever changed. Could a war-torn battlefield also be a stage for unexpected kindness? Welcome to Historical Digs, where we uncover secrets from the annals of history. The prelude to action. It's the summer of 1861, and the United States is tearing itself apart. Missouri, a border state, finds itself caught in the crossfire. With its strategic rivers, railroads, and resources, Missouri was a prize both the Union and Confederacy were desperate to claim. But the state was divided, its population split in loyalty. Families were torn apart as brothers fought against brothers, embodying the very essence of the Civil War. Springfield, Missouri, became the focal point of this conflict. Confederate aligned forces under Generals Sterling Price and Benjamin McCulloch had their sights set on solidifying control over Missouri. Are you passionate about uncovering history's hidden stories? Hit the like and subscribe button and let us know what other untold tales you'd like us to explore. Meanwhile, Union General Nathaniel Lyon, a fierce abolitionist and determined military leader, was tasked with keeping the state under Union control. After a swift campaign along the Missouri River, General Lyon captured Jefferson City, forcing the governor and secessionist lawmakers into exile. He then scattered state militia at the Battle of Boonville and pursued them south to Springfield. This tense standoff escalated in the early morning hours of August 10, 1861, on a quiet stretch of farmland near Wilson's Creek. The battle unfolds. Dawn of the conflict. The Battle of Wilson's Creek was not merely a clash of arms, but demonstrated the intensity and complexity of the Civil War's Western theater. As the first light broke over southwestern Missouri's rugged hills and dense foliage on August 10, 1861, General Nathaniel Lyon, commander of the Missouri Union forces, launched a daring preemptive strike with approximately 5,400 Union troops. Lyon had devised a bold plan to strike the 12,000 Confederate troops led by Generals Sterling Price and Benjamin McCulloch. Under cover of darkness and rain, Union troops advanced with determination, splitting their forces into two groups to maximize the element of surprise. Their initial strike caught the Confederates off guard, sending shockwaves through their camp. However, the attack was met with fierce resistance as the Confederates regrouped. This initial phase set the tone for a grueling and bloody battle. The Confederate commanders, Price and McCulloch, quickly rallied their troops in the face of the Union assault. Recovering from the shock, they executed a coordinated counteroffensive. The Confederates capitalized on their knowledge of the terrain, using the hills and natural cover to their advantage. The fighting escalated into intense skirmishes as the Confederates pushed back the Union forces. The Union troops, while initially successful, found themselves struggling to hold their positions against the sheer numbers and ferocity of the counterattack. The battlefield became a chaotic theater of movement, with the Confederate forces turning the tide of the conflict and forcing the Union soldiers into a defensive stance. Chaos on the battlefield. By mid-morning, the battle had transformed into an all-out melee, with brutal fighting on both sides. Cannon fire tore through the air, musket volleys rained down, and hand-to-hand combat erupted amidst the dense foliage. The natural terrain with its rolling hills and thickets only added to the confusion and carnage. Casualties mounted rapidly as both Union and Confederate forces sustained heavy losses. Soldiers fought valiantly, often in close quarters, with the resolve to claim victory driving them forward. Amidst the chaos, the smoke and noise of battle created an atmosphere of sheer pandemonium, a stark contrast to the serene landscape that had greeted the soldiers that morning. The death of General Nathaniel Lyon. Leading a fierce assault on Confederate forces at Wilson's Creek, General Nathaniel Lyon displayed unmatched determination. However, his relentless drive to secure victory came at a high cost. Amid the ferocious battle, Lyon fell, becoming the first Union general to die in the war. His death, while a devastating blow, immortalized him as a symbol of Union resolve. His bold actions deepened the conflict in Missouri, a state already teetering on the brink of war. Humanity amidst the chaos. Southern hospitality amidst the tragedy. Amid the thunderous roar of cannons and the anguished cries of the wounded, the Battle of Wilson's Creek revealed an unlikely side of war. Small acts of kindness emerged, glimmers of humanity that defied the horrors of the battlefield. As the battle raged, local civilians found themselves at the heart of the chaos. Driven by a culture of generosity and compassion, they transformed their homes and barns into makeshift hospitals, offering care to the wounded regardless of their allegiance. Women tore strips from their clothing to bandage injuries, while men ferried supplies through dangerous terrain, risking their lives to bring relief to soldiers in need. Even amidst the carnage, brief truces emerged, as if the soldiers themselves sought a respite from the horrors they faced. During one such pause, soldiers from opposing sides shared food and water, a fleeting but poignant reminder of shared humanity. These selfless acts did not erase the suffering of war, but became inseparable from the legacy of Wilson's Creek. They painted a complex picture of Missouri during the Civil War, a state divided by loyalties yet united in moments of shared humanity. Memories of bandaged wounds, shared meals, and open doors lingered long after the conflict ended, testifying to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable hardship. In the shadow of destruction, these stories of compassion offered a legacy of hope, revealing that even in the depths of war, the enduring spirit of humanity could shine through the chaos. The battle's legacy, a battlefield forever changed. The Battle of Wilson's Creek saw nearly equal casualties on both sides, 1,317 Union and 1,232 Confederate troops killed, wounded, or captured. Though the Confederates held the field, they couldn't pursue retreating Union forces to Rolla. General Price pushed for an advance, but General McCulloch, wary of overextended supply lines and troop fatigue, declined. Despite their victory, Confederate forces eventually withdrew from Missouri after Price's northern campaign, culminating in the First Battle of Lexington. The fleeting nature of victories in the chaotic Civil War was evident here, underscoring the broader challenges both sides faced in the Western theater. A turning point in the Western theater. Before Wilson's Creek, much of the nation's attention centered on the Eastern theater, with battles like Bull Run dominating headlines. But this Missouri clash reshaped perceptions, proving the Western theater was just as pivotal to the war's outcome. Vast resources, contested loyalties, and strategic riverways made the region a critical battleground. The death of General Nathaniel Lyon, the first Union general to fall in the war, became a rallying cry for the North. Though his aggressive tactics were bold, they also reflected the intense pressures of an uncertain conflict. His sacrifice and determination galvanized the Union cause, making Wilson's Creek a defining moment in the early years of the war. Survival in the shadows of war, caught in the crossfire. As the Battle of Wilson's Creek raged, the local civilian population found themselves unwittingly thrust into the heart of the conflict. Families who had lived peacefully on the rolling hills of Missouri were suddenly caught in the chaos of war. The sounds of musket fire and cannon blasts shattered the tranquility of their homes, forcing many to flee to safety or hunker down in fear. Displacement was a harsh reality for countless families as their homes and farms became battlegrounds. Those who stayed behind watched as their livelihoods were destroyed, fields trampled, livestock confiscated, and homes damaged by stray artillery. Towns became ghostly remnants of their former selves, their bustling streets replaced by the grim aftermath of war. Supplying the war machine. The war's demands stretched far beyond the battlefield, and local civilians were essential to the supply lines. Farmers shared their crops, providing food to hungry soldiers. Blacksmiths repaired weapons and equipment. Even children contributed, fetching water or tending to the wounded. But these efforts came at a cost. Supplies were stretched thin, and many families faced food shortages, tools, and medicine. Yet their resourcefulness shone through. They adapted, bartered, and sacrificed to support the war effort while clinging to their survival. Missouri civilians displayed incredible resilience during this time of upheaval. They rebuilt homes, replanted fields, and buried their dead, all while grappling with the emotional scars of war. Their ability to endure and adapt left an indelible mark on the region's history. Forgotten stories of Wilson's Creek. Women at the front lines of sacrifice. Beneath the well-known narratives of generals and strategies, the Battle of Wilson's Creek carries lesser-heard voices, stories of courage, survival, and resilience that rarely find their way into history books. These forgotten tales offer a haunting glimpse into the lives of those often overlooked during wartime. Women played critical, albeit often unacknowledged, roles during the battle. With their husbands, brothers, and sons away fighting, many women found themselves managing farms, providing medical care, and protecting their families from marauding forces. Some women turned their homes into makeshift hospitals, enduring the grisly task of nursing wounded soldiers from both sides. Louisa Campbell transitioned from hosting influential men at dinner to leading a group of slaves and children as they navigated battle zones in search of food. Lucy Nicholson Lindsay faced imprisonment in a Union jail after smuggling supplies to Confederate soldiers alongside other women and children. Frances Fitzhugh Cabrick, a young widow due to federal troops, was forced south by Order No. 11 but cleverly established a new life for her family in Texas until they could return post-war. Elizabeth Hunter, living in the serene Mount Vernon countryside, was driven to flee to Illinois after bushwhackers threatened her community. Yet she continued her daily tasks while praying for peace and worrying about her secessionist daughter. The stories of these women speak to their resilience and the quiet sacrifices they made during a time of unprecedented turmoil. Today, Wilson's Creek National Battlefield stands as a living testament to the resilience, sacrifice, and humanity that emerged from one of the Civil War's most pivotal clashes. Visitors can walk the trails, explore the historic Ray House, once a Confederate field hospital, and reflect on the human stories etched into this hallowed ground. The story of Wilson's Creek is not just one of battles and strategy, but of courage and compassion interwoven with conflict. It tested the mettle of soldiers and revealed the quiet strength of civilians who transformed their homes into makeshift hospitals, shared meals with strangers, and performed daring acts of kindness amidst the chaos. This battlefield reminds us that history is never black and white. It is a mosaic of brutality and humanity, shaped not only by generals, but also by women, enslaved individuals, and ordinary citizens whose actions left an enduring legacy. The lessons of Wilson's Creek echo through time, teaching us that even in the darkest chapters of history, light can still shine through. As we honor this sacred site, let us remember not only the soldiers who fought, but also the civilians who upheld the values of kindness and compassion. Their stories inspire us to see the complexity of the human experience and remind us that resilience and humanity endure even amidst the storm. Thank you for joining us in exploring the hidden truth of the Battle of Wilson's Creek. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for more History Digs.